Well, hello there. How are we today? This is my third fucking take on trying to do a video. First time, the cat messed it up, knocked an umbrella light onto the camera. Second time, I just mumbled because I was having trouble keeping up on my topic because I'm very, very tired and slightly frustrated that I already beat Resident Evil Revelations. Don't get me wrong, 10.5 hours is a decent amount of time for a game, but I was under the impression when they said in earlier press releases 30 hours that, well, it meant 30 fucking hours, but apparently what they meant was the whole game has an accumulative amount of gameplay for up to 30 hours. Well, they should have fucking said that. I didn't even know raid mode existed until, well, buying it. Anyways, I was thinking about the fact that I'm too tired to rant about the topic I was originally going to rant about tonight. So I'll rant about a topic that does not require much thought to put into it. And that is these people who cannot refer to anything other than babies. And I'm sorry, I gotta go ahead and apologize to my wife because she does this with her cat. But people who insist on calling everything babies, even children, babies. Children are not babies, they're children. And a full grown animal is not a baby, nor is it a puppy or a kitty or a kitten. They're full grown. And people false advertise things too this way to try to get you to do something. Will you watch my puppy for me? And then you get a hold of the damn thing and it's a fucking fully grown adult dog that shits bigger turds than I could. And then they're like, well, why are you aggravated for? Why are you mad? He's my puppy. No, puppy is small. When your dog gets so big that it's bigger than this right here, it's no longer a puppy. It's a full-grown dog. I don't care if it's still got more to grow. It's still a grown dog. It's a large dog. Don't pass it off as a puppy or call it little. If it's bigger than you, don't call it little. There was this Great Dane when I was younger. The first time I ever saw a fucking Great Dane. We were in a second-hand store. This woman comes in with this Great Dane. It's bigger than her. And people are just shocked because most of them's never seen a Great Dane. And she's just going on, yeah, he's my little puppy. No, he's your big dog. Your big fucking dog. Not a puppy. Not a puppy. Puppy, small. When you say the word puppy, people get in their head little. Just like when you say baby and you're referring to a 12-year-old. Now, I understand parents. Parents will say stuff like this. Parents are like, well, they're still always going to be my little baby. But there comes a point where you have to draw a line. If you're saying, well, will you watch the babies this weekend? And you're talking about your 13-year-old, your 14-year-old, and your 15-year-old. That's ridiculous. Same goes with pet owners who treat their pets like kids. They're not. When you are out in public and you're talking about your baby to a stranger, and you don't distinguish that it is not human, and you go on to talk about stupid things your animal does, and people walk away thinking, man, you're a shitty parent. Your kid's crapping on the floor. just being, I overheard someone talking about their little baby got into the cat box and ate the poop. They were talking about a little terrier getting into the cat box, but they said their baby. And this was a stranger. And the only reason why I found out that it was even a terrier is that a little Jack Russell Terrier is when they came through the checkout line, they were going on about it and going on about it. And then they're like, would you like to see a picture of my baby? And then she just points to her shirt, and it's a Jack Russell Terrier. This is him. See, and the problem there is something that I learned in psychology, and my wife gets mad at me because for years I've been saying people are humanizing animals, humanizing animals, humanizing animals, and I don't even know if that's an actual term. But what I do know is an actual term is anthropomorphic error. Anthropomorphic error. There we go. That's where you project your thoughts and feelings onto something that is an animal that has either no thoughts or feelings or don't match with its thoughts or feelings. Just like I'm sure some of you may have read that article about the woman who had that news anchor who got her face bit off by the pit bull. I don't know if her whole face got bit off, but she had to have surgery, so it had to have been pretty bad. And when you read this and then you go down to the comments, well, I could tell when, and everybody who says they could tell when the thing was going to attack, despite the lack of video, and it was pretty hard to find a video of it on the internet, but there was a lack of it. But people say that you could tell when the animal's going to attack. Now, if that was the case, why is there, for every 25 people, 15, 30 different, I don't know. I know I read at least 50 different ways of telling, and none of them matched. The dog was acting happy. Then it bared its teeth, and before she had time to back the fuck up, it was on her face. So, yeah, I can understand. Baring the teeth, when it bared its teeth, that's when you might realize, ooh, that's when it's going to attack. But so many people did not go with the obvious. So many people went with, well, you could just tell by the body language, and it was so uncomfortable. And the thing was going to bite someone, and it wasn't going to bite who rescued it, and it wasn't going to bite his owner, so it had to bite the only person it didn't know. Okay, first of all, I don't think the dog really knows who rescued it. Dogs are somewhat intelligent. They're more intelligent than cats, and that is a scientific proven fact. Look it up. I don't need to bear all the scientific evidence. In fact, scientific evidence mostly points towards the fact that cats just seem to be instinct. They're little furry things of instinct. They don't realize they exist. They seek warmth, and when you die, they'll eat you when they run out of food. If you die around your dog will probably mourn itself to death. So there tells you some sort of intelligence of those two animals. So, yeah, people are going on and on. Oh, the poor little baby dog. It wasn't a baby dog, it was a full-grown dog. And, yeah, sure, it bared its teeth, and that's pretty much a good way of knowing it was getting aggravated. But all this other shit, like, well, you can tell the way because its tail was pointing towards the east, and when it comes down to pit bulls of that size and color, their tails pointing towards the east means that they're very aggravated. You can trust me because I'm a veterinarian. Why what does size and color have to do with the way an animal displays its frustration, its nervousness? How, people? So I guess you're getting two rants today for the price of the timing of one. Because there's not much to really go on about the whole baby thing. People referring to their animals as their babies and their grown ass kids as their babies, because it's ridiculous. Your kids are grown up. I know they'll always be your babies, but if you're referring to your 15 and 20-year-old children, well, the babies are coming in this weekend. The babies are coming in. Yeah, my little baby has to drive from. No, you're an adult. Speak like an adult, please. There are stupid people out there who are going to become very confused as to why baby is driving. Also, your dog may be like a child to you, but until you have a child, and this is from what I've heard from dog owners who never thought they were going to have kids, and then they've had kids. It's not the same. Get over it. Same with you cat owners. Because your cat most likely just doesn't even realize you're there. It just notices you as thing that's warm, possibly food if you suddenly die, and you give it food and water. Yay for the cats. Yeah, they're fun to watch because they do stupid things, but I think we should harvest cats into food. Let them do stupid things and we film them going on a conveyor belt into a big giant meat grinder. Instant hate mail. Because you can't say shit about animals. I had a podcast, a zombie podcast, where the survivor ate a dog. And I got so much hate mail from that. Probably more hate mail than I had actual listeners, to be honest. And it was so fucking bizarre because they're like, well, he could have kept that dog and the dog could have found him food. But he would have to be splitting his already limited supply of food up with the dog. Just for the possibility that the dog is trained. Now, that's what a lot of people, and that's why I responded to them, is you forget that domesticated animals aren't really equipped to deal with the outside world. That's why zoo animals don't really normally go back out into the wild. So, yeah. And, you know, and I don't care who you are. You say that you can tell when an animal's going to do this, when an animal's going to do that. There have been very few people that I've ever seen that could tell. And those people make a lot of money. Steve Irwin, for the most part, knew when an animal was going to strike. So he was really amazing with that. And yet, same people who act like they know what's what with animals, they'll sit back and call him stupid. I can't help but think that they were just jealous that they can't do what he could do. This wasn't even the rant I was going to sit down and do. I was going to rant. I had several rants. The rant I was going to rant about was people who look at things that upset them and then complain about having to look at it. But yet they've seeked it out. You know, people intentionally Googling people eating poop and then all they do is go on and on and on about, they saw someone eating poop on the internet, and you're like, were you forced? And they're like, no.